What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's live edition of American Contractors Show. I am your host, John Dye. Thank you so much for joining us today. And like I said every week, this is all about equipping, empowering, and motivating contractors just like you to know what's going on in the industry. Keep your head up and hopefully help you guys go out and build something awesome each and every week. So thank you so much for joining us today. You guys are what it's all about. So I'm ready to dive into some news, though, and not waste too much time today because I've got some huge stories that I think you guys need to check out. Number one, though, this one is one that I think we're going to see time and time again here in the future. And another huge story that came out of Iowa. This one's out of the Des Moines Register. If you guys are in Iowa, you may want to look this story up. It's a pretty extensive one, probably one of the biggest ones that I've seen as far as length goes, and they got pretty deep into stuff. But once again, we're in the middle of storm season here, and when it comes to insurance work and storm-related work, I come from that world, and I've done a lot of that in the past. I was an independent adjuster for a while, so I've worked on both sides of the entire storm insurance restoration world to get a pretty good grasp on it. And it's a huge part of our economy, especially if you're a storm restoration contractor. But big news out of Iowa. Once again, insurance companies are cutting roof coverage, leaving customers with big bills. And this was an interesting one because they brought up another part of it. The third part of this is not only are they they're cutting the rates, they're cutting the coverage, leaving these homeowners with big bills, but they're jeopardizing mortgages. I knew this was going to come. I was waiting for this shoe to fall, and I was wondering why it hasn't fallen until now. But let me break this down a little bit real quick. Iowa's largest insurance companies have reduced payouts for damaged roofs due to increased claims, according to them, from hail and windstorms. So they're saying that because there's been so many claims, we're going to start cutting coverages, making it harder for homeowners to get insurance, and thus causing problems when these homeowners do have issues to get their homes covered. And it said customers, roofers, and consumer advocates are expressing concern over the financial burden that's being placed on homeowners that are living under damaged roofs. They're decreasing their coverage, and they're making it harder for these homeowners to get their roofs repaired. And they actually show a story here by a guy named Vadim Shapiro's case, and illustrates a significant gap between the insurer's payment and the actual cost of the roof replacement. Basically, if you read the article, I'll summarize it real quick. The insurance company agreed to pay $9,500 for a $25,000 roof, okay? Based on the way that the endorsements were written and the way that those coverages were applied. They're basically insinuating that the homeowners have been getting their insurance policy switched on them without their knowledge or through the use of endorsements. If you know what an endorsement is, it's basically a rider that goes along with the policy. It could be, usually there's exclusions or endorsements applied to coverages, but it basically states that because of cosmetic, they'll have like cosmetic exclusions, different things like that they'll include, that'll say basically like, hey, the roof's damaged, but it's only cosmetic damage, so that's not really considered to be what they call mechanical. What they think that the difference is between mechanical and cosmetic is mechanical causes the product to actually fail, whereas cosmetic just makes it look bad. So it's okay if it looks bad, but we're not going to cover it unless it actually fails the roof. Now, there's a lot of arguments on this side of the aisle, especially if you're a roofing contractor. You know that just because a roof has hail damage, that might not include an issue right away. It's going to look bad right away, and it might not start to leak. But we all know over time, those hail hits are going to blister, pop. It's going to cause roofs that have holes in them over time. But that's going to take a few years down the road. So these roofs are mechanically damaged, but they're saying that it's only cosmetic. And they'll do this a lot on metal roofs. They'll say, well, the metal roof has a dent in it, so that dent doesn't necessarily mean that the roof's going to leak. So it's okay to have a dented roof. Let's back up for a second and understand what insurance really is, though. Is insurance, it's something that's designed to protect you from the financial burden related to your home being damaged by whatever that they've decided to cover. In this case, hail or wind is a covered peril in most of these policies. Okay, so if that's covered peril, then you should be getting paid for it, whether it be damage that's excluded, whether it's damage that is cosmetic or mechanical. Cosmetic damage is still damage, okay? And when it comes to metal roofs, you can get pretty granular about it, find cracks in the paint, which is going to cause the roof to rust, which does rust is deterioration, and it's going to, because that paint is there to protect the roof. Anyways, this is a whole other situation. I can go really deep into this, but at the end of the day, what we're seeing is more and more insurance companies are starting to pull back these coverages and make it harder and harder for homeowners to get the damage fixed on their actual properties when there is a storm. Now, where it gets really interesting in this article is that now Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are stepping in because they're required. You got to understand, like insurance that mortgages require homeowners to have, they require them to have replacement cost coverage. It's kind of like the same thing as if you bought a car and you drive that car down the road and you get in an accident. If you have a loan against that car, you have to have what's known as full coverage insurance, right? It covers your vehicle and the other vehicle of the person that you hit. Because why? Because the bank has an interest in that vehicle. Same thing with these homes that have mortgages attached to them. They're supposed to have replacement cost value coverage. So now the mortgages are stepping in and saying, wait a second, why are we not insuring these homes the way that you're supposed to be insuring them, Mr. and Mrs. Insurance Company? Okay. And so Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, who guarantees these mortgages for a lot of homeowners across the country, are starting to step in and say, what's going on here? And so roofing companies are saying that more and more homeowners are having to cover expenses. Homeowners are starting to complain that, hey, wait a second, we're supposed to have this, but we're actually getting this. And it's going to cause some rift there as to what is actually an approved policy for that homeowner to have. What's this going to do? It's going to raise a lot of questions. And now the questions are, the concerns have to do with what insurance companies, their insurance companies' broad definition of cosmetic damage. And so the insurance companies are actually offering their perspectives of it. They're differing perspectives on the reasons behind insurance changes. They're saying that it's to prevent fraud and to diminish fraudulent claims and whatever else. But I'll be real, like we all know what's going on. If you're a contractor that does this and you guys deal with it, the sad part is if you're a contractor, you're the one that usually has to deliver the bad news to the homeowner, because at that point, it's like, yo, we got to get paid for our work. Your house is damaged, which sucks because you have to replace this, whatever siding, roof, gutters, whatever you had to have replaced. And now we're having to tell the homeowners, you got to come out of pocket. And that's what we're seeing a lot of homeowners having to do, is to come out of pocket. And so we kind of knew that this tipping point was coming. We saw it on the horizon. We've been seeing a lot of changes in this industry. Now it's getting to where it's mainstream. Like homeowners they're getting annoyed because, hey, I would be ticked if my insurance policy was changed and I wasn't made aware of that change. And they write in these complex ways that homeowners don't understand. Like I know that there's RSPs now, which are roof surface payment schedules. You may want to look into that if you're a homeowner. Does your insurance policy cover an RSP? And RSP basically says that after a certain amount of time, the roof then becomes an ACV policy. That changes everything else. So it's a very unique situation. This is going to become more and more mainstream. They're actually telling people in the article that if you've been affected by the changes, such as homeowners facing steep premium increases, they say call for government intervention to ensure fair and affordable insurance coverage. They're basically telling people, hey, you guys need to speak up. If a homeowner has an issue, we need to start speaking up, letting homeowners know to speak up, to start to make this an issue and to raise it with the DOIs and the different politicians and the different lawmakers to hopefully be able to go in and rectify the situation before it gets too far out of hand. We all know storms are increasing. There's more and more things happening. You're being subjected to this if you're a homeowner, to increased risk, whether you like it or not. And this is one of those things that the insurance companies are really pulling back on, and they're making it more and more difficult. We see it heavily in Florida. We're seeing it in Texas. We're seeing it in Louisiana. And now we're seeing it in Iowa. I guarantee you we'll see it in Colorado. We'll see it in some other states that have been hit recently. If you guys didn't know, like we talked about it last week, St. Louis had almost 500,000 homes hit in their storms a couple weeks ago. You know, I just heard reports that Colorado got smashed with Denver got smashed with 250,000 homes getting hit with storms last week with hail. So this is going to be one of those things that it's going to progress. It's going to get worse, and insurance companies are really watching the money that they're spending, and they have the money to spend. It's it's not being allocated the right way. And there's some reforms that need to be done there. But at the end of the day, we're seeing this happen. This is putting homeowners in a bad situation. And if you're a contractor, it's putting us in bad situations as well, because we're the ones that have to deal with the insurance, the fallout of this, and dealing with homeowners that now have to pay out of pocket for a lot of these expenses that typically they don't have to pay out of pocket. So anyways, we'll drop a link for this article inside of the comments, because I think this is one that you guys need to keep an eye on. Share this one with your homeowners. Let them see what's going on. Let them know, like, hey, when this comes up, this is a national trend that's happening. It's not just a localized thing. You're going to see this more and more. You're going to see higher deductibles, all that kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate. It's sad. And it's one of those things that, we're the ones that have to deliver the bad news, and not always the easiest pill to swallow for a homeowner. So, all right. Another article that I found really interesting this week. This one's out of Forbes. And, Forbes got really deep. They actually surveyed 2,000 homeowners that have had repairs done on their house, whether it be, all types of repairs. And we'll talk about that here in a second. And the main question that they asked on the article, and the main statement that came out, the title of the article was actually this. It said, nearly 2/3 of Americans fund home improvement projects with savings. We've talked about this a little bit with some of the peak performance reports that we share from Job Nimbus every week. Forbes really got deep into this, though, and talked about how homeowners, what repairs they're doing and how they're paying for those repairs. So just going to kind of briefly go over this article, and I'm going to share some charts with you guys for you guys to get some information here. But they found that nearly 2/3 of homeowners fund improvement projects with savings, and that remodeling can be an attractive option for homeowners amid climbing home prices and high interest rates. So more homeowners are going to elect to actually repair their current homes rather than go out and buy another house, or they don't want to lose their interest rate. So 83% of homeowners have worked on a home improvement project within the last 24 months. That's crazy. Top projects include interior painting, bathroom remodeling, and updating light fixtures. And motivations for the project include repairs. 33% said they needed it for repair purposes. 29% they wanted it for improved functionality. And 25% actually did those repairs because they wanted to improve the aesthetics of their home. 63% of homeowners use savings to finance their home improvement. Credit cards and loans were also popular funding options, with 9% using personal loans and 12% tapping into home equity. So most respondents researched finance options with methods including online research, consulting family or friends, and finance decisions were influenced by factors such as loan approval, 44%, and favorable financing terms, 29%. So basically, as long as they got approved for the loan, 44% of the people were taking it. 29% of the people were saying they got approved and that the financing options were favorable to them, and so they went ahead and did it because of that reason. 35% of the borrowers borrowed more than they needed, while 27% borrowed less than required. Despite borrowing, most respondents were likely to recommend using a loan for home improvement projects. So here's, let's go through this chart real quick. There's some pieces of this I want to share. First thing, how likely are people to recommend loans to others to finance home improvement projects? This was in there. It said that 3% were somewhat likely, but most people, 44%, that's that big thing, were very likely to recommend that to homeowners to actually do it, while 35% said somewhat likely. Then there was another one. So why did consumers choose to use a loan to finance their home improvement project? Like I said, 44% said it was because they just basically got approved, so we're going to do it, right? These other people said that they had a good amount of home equity that they could use. That was 36%. There was secured a low interest rate on my loan amount was 36%. 29% believe that they obtained favorable loan terms, and 17% received a special offer to take out a loan. That could be the same as cash type of offer or some sort of promotional deal. Okay. And then we'll go back down. We talked about this a little while ago, but what methods did homeowners actually use to finance their home? 63% said savings, 28%, said credit cards. So if you're not accepting credit cards, you're missing out on 28% of sales potentially because you're just not accepting credit cards. Personal loans was 9%. Financing with the contractor was 6%. So if you're offering in-house financing, 6% of your customers will take that option. HELOCs, which is the home equity line of credit, was 5%. Borrowing money from family and friends, 5%. Home equity loan, 4%. Cash out refinance, 2%. And then FHA loans, that was 1%. The most popular home improvement projects, okay, in the past 5 years, biggest one, interior paint, 51%. Bathroom remodel was 31, updating light fixtures 31, new flooring 30, updating the kitchen 25, repair or replace the roof was 22%, paint exteriors was 21%, install new water heaters 18, update your HVAC 16, install security system 16, decks or patio was 15%, new windows 14, new front doors 12%, storage space 11%, and then it goes down all the way down to insulation, siding, solar panels. 5% were solar panels, and then 3% added fireplaces. So interesting article, some great information there. We'll share the link to this Forbes report as well, because this has some great data for contractors. If you're forecasting your business, trying to build the right systems and the right processes, this article can give you a lot of good data points that you can use in order to continue on as you guys grow your businesses. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, get a word from these sponsors that have made this show possible. Sponsors like Infinity Home Services, Rilla Voice, Hail Trace, as well as great friends at Job Nimbus. So stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. Hey there, guys. Let's take a second to shine a spotlight on an incredible opportunity for all you hardworking contractors. We're thrilled to have Infinity Home Services on board this season. If you have yet to hear about Infinity, you gotta pay attention to this. Infinity Home Services is not just any roofing contractor. It's a powerhouse backed by private equity, and they're revolutionizing the way we think about roofing services. But here's the best part. They're looking to partner with ambitious contractors that are ready to take their business to the next level. So imagine having the support, the resources, and the expertise of a leading industry player on your side. And because they're all about adding value, Infinity Home Services offers a free, no strings attached evaluation of your business. Click the link in the comments or the show notes, and you could be on your way to unlocking incredible growth opportunities. Don't let this chance slip by. Sign up today for your free evaluation. As a sales leader, you know the importance of every customer interaction. So let me introduce you to Rilla, a powerful tool designed to enhance your team's in-home sales presentations. Rilla records and analyzes your team's interactions, providing detailed feedback that helps pinpoint strengths and identify areas for improvement. It's like having an expert sales coach available 24/7, ensuring your team performs at their best. With Rilla, watch your sales numbers soar as your team closes more deals efficiently. Don't wait to upgrade your sales strategy. Visit the Rilla link in the comments or show notes to discover how Rilla can revolutionize your team's performance. All right, guys, welcome back. We've got some really cool videos to share with you guys. We do this every week where we share some cool videos that we find on the internet that have to do with construction, and you're gonna like these. These are a lot of fun today. Let's start with this first one. This one, we found this one last week. It's been floating around.
We're building this robot that installs.
But this is literally a robot that installs shingles, guys. It's out. We can see it now. Here it is. Let's play this video.
As you see, we're building this robot that installs shingles on the roof. The big things we're aimed at is increasing safety and productivity for roofing contractors. The way we do this is the robot attaches to the roof through some anchor points, and it uses synchronized winches to move itself around the roof. It's similar to like a stadium camera that you see in like a football stadium, and then it has an arm that reaches off that cart to place shingles on the roof, and we use machine vision and AI to guarantee accuracy and repeatability. So the big things are labor costs and labor safety. So roofing is the second most dangerous job. There's tons of fatalities from falls every year, tons of injuries from knees, backs, sun exposure. There's a huge labor shortage in the trades, and so if you introduce new technology, you can attract a different type of worker to the trades. RenovateRobotics.com. We've got this video running on the website and a little bit more information, and you can sign up for our newsletter.
So this is the actual robot. It's out now. It's something that is, it's being obviously tested. They're its design. There's a version 1.0 now of this. We've been talking about it for years. At some time in the future, this is going to be a reality, and now it is. Now, I don't think it's super, far along yet. It's going to take a while for that to happen, but it's there. There is a robot. So let's read some of the comments on this video that we found. So top comments. So after you guys go up on the roof and remove all the existing shingles, make sure all the plywood is secured, install ice and water shield, then install underlayment drip edge. They will then have to attach this robot to the roof so that it can install shingles in the open areas 10 times slower. These guys will then have to shingle in all of the valleys and roof edges, as well as installing ridge vent hip caps. Sounds like a great idea. I agree with that comment. It's not very it's not there quite yet, but it's coming along, and there's the only way to go is to get better from here. So who knows what's going to happen. Second comment here said, is it powered by Modelo? That's how we know if it's good, right? Then this one said, hey, Mr. George, your machine is no good if you know the Mr. George videos. And then number 4 here, this one said, increasing safety for roofers, quote unquote, by eliminating them. I guess that's one way to increase safety, right? But here's the reality. It's a cool invention, something someone has obviously spent a lot of money to develop. Will it go somewhere? We don't know yet, but it's definitely something that is now a reality. Like, there is a robot that can install a roof now. Whether or not that's going to work, we shall find out, but we'll see. All right. Second video here. We're going to talk genius or gimmick. We like to do this one quite a bit every week. But let's watch this one. Is this a genius or a gimmick? You guys tell us. So this is called the Matty measure, and it is used for flooring recessed woodwork. So doorways, general building, many other DIY jobs. Pretty much eliminates a lot of the guesswork around it. I'm kind of, trying to figure out where to use this, other than it basically is going to tell you your measurements. It's $16.99. We have it in our Amazon store if you want it, but let's read the comments on this one because this is interesting. Comments here, be a man, just guess it. Or you can just not suck at reading a tape measure. I kind of agree with that one. The next generation is going to be worthless without stupid tools like this. Learn how to use your tools without needing another tool. Do it for you. I kind of agree with that too. So is this a genius or a gimmick? You guys tell us. Is this genius or gimmick? I kind of am going towards gimmick. I know how to read a tape measure and have been doing so for years, and so has my dad, and so has my grandpa, and so has everyone else that has done business. Genius or gimmick? You guys tell us in the comments what you guys think about this this tool, this Matty measure tool. All right. Let's do this last one here. This one's cool. This one's about branding. If you like branding, I love branding. This is going to
explains how not being professional is going to cost you millions of dollars.
I drive my car everywhere, every day, so why wouldn't I get it branded with my services so people can see? You don't know how much business I've gotten just by wrapping the Tesla. All my cars, all my trucks, just you got to put yourself out there and expose yourself. You're in business. You're not here to mess around and be undercover. No, you're a walking billboard. Just like me, when I'm all Rosewood out, everybody's like, what the hell's Rosewood? So it's like you always want to be representing and doing your brand. Sometimes I see little trucks with little magnets. It's like, bro, you're ashamed that you're a handyman. You're ashamed that you're a landscaper. You're out here working, creating generational wealth, being a businessman. So, it's all about branding. This guy does it right too, man. That's beautiful. It's a nice Jeep. So, he shows up to the job site. It looks good. It looks presentable. I'm all about branding. How you look, how you present yourself, how you carry yourself. Right now, all the bad news I got from the city, I have to present them to my client. I'm frustrated, but I can't show that frustration because I'm the professional. I have to be professional at all times.
I love this video, you guys. And if you're watching this and you guys aren't branding properly or not caring so much about branding, then you're not caring so much about growth. And maybe that's okay. Maybe you're one of those contractors that you do some work, you're good, you live a good life, you make whatever amount of money, which there's a lot of you guys out there. I like that. But at the end of the day, we've ran several businesses, and some of the largest companies that we interview, they all have very distinctive brands. They're best known. And if you know the old adage when it comes to marketing, it's not about being necessarily the best contractor or the best business, but You win if you're the best known business, and branding goes a long way. There's trucks running around. You drive down the road, you will see tons and tons of brands out there, but some of them are going to stick out. The really good ones are going to really stick out, and you're going to know who those companies are. Here in Indianapolis, we have some great brands that run around town, and we all know, we see them. I probably pay more attention to them than the most common person, but at the end of the day, when it comes time to choosing a company that a homeowner wants to pick, they're going to kind of gravitate towards the brands that they see, that they know, that they trust, that they've seen out on the road. And that makes a big deal when you're doing this type of work, is to have a good brand that is well known within the community. So I love this video. I think it's a great one for you guys to maybe take a lesson from. But let's read some comments here. First one: a business with no sign is a sign of no business. That sounds like something a marketing guy would say. All right, number 2 here. Should I wrap my vehicle even if I'm not licensed and insured yet? Well, there's a lot that goes into that comment. I think you should get licensed and insured and run an actual business before you go and wrap your vehicle. So I'll just give you that one. Here we go. Having advertisements on the truck is a good way to get your tools stolen while the car is parked outside the grocery store. Yeah, I guess, but and trust me, we've all had that happen at some point. If you've been in business long enough, it's going to happen. But at the end of the day, you're still missing out on tons and tons of work. So you got to make your trade-off there. Here we go. I never advertise anything on my truck. I'm as low pro as it gets. And like I said, there's plenty of people out there that do that. And then this one says all the advertising is done with Google, Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, and word of mouth. And while I do definitely agree that there's a lot of power in social media, come on, we know all about that. At the end of the day, though, branding your vehicle does elevate you to a different level. And if you're going to compete, which at the end of the day, business is competition, you're going to have to go up against other businesses, and you want to win, your brand could be what tips the scales for you one way or another. So I encourage people, if you do want to grow your business, the largest contractors I know, the ones that are doing things the right way, really are marketing companies that do contracting. Okay. And marketing companies know, like, hey, it's all about best known. Best known will always beat best. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to share this week's peak performance report. And it's going to have to do with sales reps. And so this one's going to be fun. If you're a sales rep, we'll kind of address you a little bit today and give you some information about what some of the top companies are doing when it comes to their sales reps. So stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. If you're in the contracting business, you know how tough it can be to stand out and scale up. That's why I'm excited to talk about Infinity Home Services, a name that's becoming synonymous with success in the roofing industry. Backed by private equity and with a track record of phenomenal growth, they're the partners you've been dreaming of. Here's the invitation to you guys. Infinity Home Services is looking for partners like you. They believe in building strong, mutually beneficial relationships that drive success. And to get the ball rolling, they're offering your business a free evaluation. Imagine getting personalized insights from industry leaders on elevating your business. All you need to do is click the link in the comments or our show notes, and you can get started right away. And this could be the game changer you've been waiting for. So don't hesitate. Click that link and get your free evaluation. Hey, want to ace every sales appointment? Then you got to meet Rilla, your new secret weapon. This innovative technology captures your in-home sales presentations and then analyzes the audio to give you personalized feedback. It's like having a coach with you at every step, helping you refine your approach, boost your confidence, and close more deals. Whether you're looking to sharpen your pitch or handle objections more effectively, Rilla provides the insights you need to grow and succeed. Elevate your sales game with Rilla. Visit the Rilla link in our comments or show notes and start transforming your sales approach today. All right, welcome back. This one's gonna be fun today. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Job Nimbus Peak Performance Report, which, by the way, this entire report is available to you. This is last year's data. They obviously haven't compiled this year's data. They're working on that to put out for next year. But this is this year's report, though, that gives you a lot of information about how your company stands up and how it looks according to other companies. And so this is a great segment. I love doing these every week. If you want to get your free copy of this Job Nimbus report, you can grab it. We'll include the link in the comments here. So make sure to grab one of those reports, and then you guys can get the same information and learn a little bit about where your competition stacks up and where you actually measure up. So today we're going to talk a little bit about sales reps and sales presentations. And we're going to start with, how many people do you have on your sales team? This was a question that was asked to a multitude of contractors, and JobNews went ahead and surveyed them. And this is what it came up with. And this is 1 to 2 is the first bar there on the left, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 plus. And then at the very end there's 2 little bars there that say basically we don't have a dedicated sales team. All right. And then if you look, it's got 3 options here. First option, the lighter green is your base companies. These are basic, all your base companies. The second bar there, the little bit lighter or whatever, more teal looking, high, that's high revenue, the middle one. And the dark green over there is high profitability. So high revenue contractors are going to always, if you're doing high revenue, you got to have a pretty good sales team. It looks like most of them are in the 5 to 6 sales rep range. Okay. And then it kind of goes up from there. Although 26% have 3 to 4. Okay. And then your high profitability, this is what was really interesting to me, was most high profitability companies still only have 1 to 2 or 3 to 4. Okay. They talk about this a lot, that in the world of business, I see a lot of companies that might be doing high revenue, but that doesn't mean that they're making a lot of profit. And so you have to make that trade-off. So most of the high profit companies only have 3 to 4 sales reps. They just sell really, really well. And I've met a lot of companies that have 3 or 4 sales reps that can sell several $1 million a year in revenue. And so pretty interesting. 32% had 3 to 4, 30% had 1 to 2. Now, high revenue companies, like I said, most are 3 to 4 to 5 and 6, and then there's 17% have 9 to 10, and 15% of high revenue companies have 11 plus. 6% of base companies don't even have sales reps, and 3% of high revenue or high profitability companies don't have sales reps. So pretty interesting numbers. Interesting to see where your team stacks up. What are you trying to be? Are you trying to be a base contractor? Are you trying to be a high revenue or a high profitability contractor? Your sales team is going to be what dramatically changes all that. But if you get some studs in there that are doing really good profit on their jobs and managing them well, and you learn that at the end of the day, profit is sanity and revenue can be vanity. So it just depends, like figuring out how do you make the most profit on the amount of money that you're spending. Then, it might be better to have a smaller team. And that's what this is basically showing, a smaller high performance team. Synopsis on this basically says that high revenue and high profitability companies have bigger sales teams. And then it says how to nail it. If you want a successful business, you need to hire more dedicated salespeople. More salespeople will bring in more leads and more deals. All right. Second part of today's Job Nimbus Peak Performance Report we're going to cover is, if you provide proposals to your customers, do you present them, and how do you present them? So interestingly enough, most contractors present them in person. We've got the same breakdown here. Top line is high revenue. The second line there is high profitability. And this one's interesting. The third line is highly rated. Okay. So 73% of high revenue companies do in person, 83% of high profitability do in person, and 77% do highly rated do in person. And then there's over Zoom there, which is 4, 3, and 2. This is like doing some sort of virtual meeting. 0% don't provide proposals. So everyone is providing proposals. And then this one's interesting. The bottom line says we send proposals without presenting them. So basically, you're just emailing a proposal to a homeowner and expecting them to sign. 23% say that the high revenue actually do that. And then 13% of the high profitability ones do it that way. And then highly rated is 22%. But at the end of the day, the high profitability contractors, most of them are doing it in person. So the synopsis says that high revenue, high profitability, and highly rated companies present more proposals in person. And presenting proposals in person gives you more upsell opportunities and lets you work through objections, leading to higher earnings. I agree with that. You do want to present your proposals in person as much as possible, although there are a lot of tools that are coming out now. You've got tools like Roofle, Sumo Quote, these types of things that you can send proposals off to the homeowner. But I will agree, like when we sold roofs, it was much, much easier for a sales rep to walk in with a proposal in hand that they can hold, they can feel, they could touch. And we did close higher off of that rather than emailing them a proposal that they just basically can blow off in an easy way. So definitely a cool piece of information for you guys. Job Nimbus provides this entire report. So I encourage you guys to go download it. There's so many great pieces of information that can help you elevate your business and make it better just based on the data that they've already compiled about how this industry is doing and how they are providing the services that they provide in the way that they do it. So anyways, great piece of information today, guys. And I really appreciate you guys being a part of today's show. Once again, this is all about you guys empowering, equipping, and motivating contractors to go out and do awesome stuff. And we hope that you walk away from this today with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more inspiration, and hopefully you're going to go out and build something awesome this week. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week here on the American Contractor Show. See you guys. Thanks for joining us today on the American Contractor Show. Be sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and leave your comments below. We'll see you guys in the next one.